Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we dig into the fascinating material you share with us, looking for those insights that, well, really matter. It's always great getting into these ideas shaping our world, and today, we're tackling something that feels very close to home in our digital lives. I mean, think about it. Our world is constantly being refined, isn't it? Almost relentlessly. Screens get sharper, algorithms tune everything, AI polishes every single note, every image, all the content until it seems, well, flawlessly perfect, perfectly curated. But here's the interesting thing, the paradox, really, that your sources, especially parts of the reign of raw humanity, break that out so clearly. Despite this push for perfection, this digital gloss, there's a kind of countercurrent stirring, a real hunger for something different. So our mission today, let's unpack why. Why in a world aiming for algorithmic perfection is it the raw, the unfiltered human experience that might actually shine brightest? Get ready for maybe an aha moment about where real connection and meaning are heading in this digital age. We might challenge some assumptions about what you truly value. We're exploring that shift from the flawless to the, well, the authentically felt. Okay, let's dive in.
Yeah, it's a great place to start. And I think most of us feel this trend, instinctively. We're definitely in this landscape where tech is like this invisible hand, smoothing things out, making reality maybe a bit enhanced, predicting what we want almost too well.
Mm.
Think about those subtle filters on social media, right? Perfecting appearances, or the auto tune in music eliminates every little imperfection in a voice.
Right, flawless.
Exactly. Or even predictive text, finishing your thoughts. AI can create these hyper real things now, predictive analysis, generative content, even deep fakes that look, well, technically perfect.
Mhm.
The goal often seems to be just frictionless engagement, everything optimized for seamlessness.
And it really is everywhere. If you just pause, you, the listener, think about how much you consume daily that feels engineered. Blockbuster movies, perfect CGI, brand stories, meticulously crafted. Social media, always the highlight reel. It's also smooth, polished, kind of effortless. But how does that affect you? This constant stream of perfection, does it maybe create a kind of, I don't know, perfection fatigue? Would you almost feel a bit alienated because it feels too good to be true?
That's it, precisely. That constant refinement, it has real implications for how we experience things. It's a critical point. When everything is smoothed out, every rough edge sanded down,
Yeah,
what are we losing? In chasing that seamless perfection,
I'm going to be losing.
it raises that big question. Are we maybe sacrificing authenticity, trading it for this idealized, often unreal version of reality? We get used to flawlessness, right? So anything less can feel, well, jarring or just off. But the deeper cost psychologically might be disconnection. When everything's perfect, there's just no space for the genuine, the vulnerable, the messy human stuff that actually connects us.
That makes sense.
We might admire perfection from afar, but we connect through shared imperfection, don't we?
Absolutely. And that's where, according to the insights from the reign of raw humanity, it gets really interesting. Despite this polished world we're describing, a hunger stirs, not for the flawless, but for the felt.
Hmm.
That phrase,
Mhm.
not for the flawless, but for the felt. It really cuts right to the core, doesn't it?
It really does.
It points to this deep, almost primal yearning that's pushing back against all that digital sheen. It's not just like a passing trend, it feels more like a fundamental shift in what we're looking for.
And the significance of that shift is what's truly fascinating here. We're moving beyond just, appreciating technical skill
Yeah.
towards valuing something much more fundamental to being human, the felt, that's about experiences that spark real empathy, maybe push us out of our comfort zones, or just surprise us with their raw honesty.
Instead of just technical wow factor?
Exactly. Instead of just being impressed by precision, think about the psychology behind it. In a world just saturated with curated lives and optimized content, we crave genuine connection. The world feels fragmented.
Yeah.
We're almost desensitized to polish because there's so much of it. Our brains are actually wired to seek novelty, and increasingly that novelty is coming from raw, unvarnished truth. The felt meets emotional needs, psychological needs that the flawless just can't. A perfectly rendered digital scene might look amazing, sure, but a raw, emotional live performance, that moves you because it taps into that core human need for authenticity.
Right.
We demand experiences that hit us on a deeper, more visceral level.
And this isn't just some abstract feeling people have, it's a trend observers are actually predicting. The material you shared points to Alexis Ohanian, co founder of Reddit. He has this very specific, very vivid vision of future crowds. He predicts, and I quote, "The future crowd will gather where voices crack, where sweat glistens, where stories stumble and still stand true."
Wow. That's a powerful image, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost cinematic.
It is. It paints this picture of what we'll actually seek out. These human imperfections becoming the main attraction.
Ohanian's vision is incredibly sharp because he identifies exactly those elements that contrast so starkly with algorithmic perfection. Let's think about the psychology. Why do those specifics hit home? Voices crack. What's that about?
Vulnerability. Real emotion.
Right. Vulnerability, genuine emotion, the struggle to get something important out. It shows earnestness, humanity. It builds empathy. We've all been there, haven't we? Trying to say something meaningful and your voice just falters. It's relatable.
Totally. Okay, what about sweat glistens?
That signals effort, dedication, physical presence, the reality of human work. In an age where AI can generate content so effortlessly, seeing visible effort becomes this powerful marker of human commitment, of passion.
Ah, the proof of work almost.
Kind of, yeah. It's the tangible sign someone is pouring their all into what they're doing, a performance, a craft, whatever.
Okay, and the last one, stories stumble and still stand true.
That's authenticity again, resilience, the messy, imperfect path of life. A perfectly smooth, scripted story might be fine, but one that genuinely falters. Maybe reveals the speaker's own doubts or mistakes, yet still gets to its core truth. That's far more compelling. It resonates with our own struggles, validates them.
These aren't flaws to hide.
Not at all. They become signals of truth. Connecting this to the bigger picture, it just hammers home the value of human struggle, raw truth, real experience over anything manufactured for perfect consumption. Think about authentic creators on platforms like TikTok or YouTube.
Right.
Compared to traditional, super produced media.
Right.
Many of the most successful ones embrace their quirks, their normal environments, unscripted moments, their voices crack, their sweat glistens, metaphorically, putting in the effort. Their stories stumble through daily life.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
Or another example, the appeal of indie games, often niche, maybe graphically imperfect, weird mechanics made by small teams, versus the hyper-realistic, graphically perfect AAA games. There's a charm in that perceived rawness, a sense of human touch that people connect with.
That's really well put. It drives home how these human elements are becoming valuable, almost assets. And the source material highlights this irreplaceable part of humanity with another really strong line. For no algorithm can mimic the hush of a room as a human heart takes center stage. Just picture that feeling, that quiet, that collective held breath when someone is truly open, present, truly human in front of you.
Yeah,
It's a shared connection, almost visceral. Feels unique to live human interaction.
absolutely. And what makes that human heart taking center stage so profound, so impossible for AI to replicate, is its unique mix of qualities. It goes beyond just data or simulation. It's not purely emotion. AI can simulate emotion, write compelling stories. It's about presence.
Presence.
Real, physical, undeniable presence. Another being, same space, same air. There's a deep social need we have for that actual proximity, that shared moment. And it's about shared vulnerability. That unspoken agreement between, say, a performer and the audience, that this is real, fundamentally unscripted, and carries a genuine risk of imperfection. Or the chance for a profound connection. When a human puts themselves out there, there's an uncertainty, a tension. It's beautiful, actually. AI can't replicate that because it has no self to risk.
That makes sense. No skin in the game.
Exactly. Think of it like this. AI can compose a perfect symphony, but it can't feel nervous before playing it. It can't feel the thrill of hitting a note perfectly under pressure or the disappointment of a mistake. Those are human experiences tied to our biology, our psychology. That's what creates the hush, that sacred space of shared humanity. So it raises the question, what's the irreplaceable value of purely human connection in an experience? Something even the smartest AI can never replicate. It's that unique resonance, one consciousness connecting with another, unfiltered by code, driven by genuine empathy, shared experience. The emotional depth isn't just simulated, it's actually felt.
Okay, so bringing this all together, our discussion really lines up perfectly with that powerful drop of meaning from the reign of raw humanity, which is, in a world refined by AI, it's the unfiltered pulse of human experience that will shine brightest. It's a statement that pulls everything together, doesn't it? From the polished world to Ohanian's vision to that irreplaceable human heart.
It really does.
It suggests our value isn't lessened by AI. Maybe our uniquely human qualities are actually highlighted, becoming even more precious.
I think that's right. And the wider implications of getting this shift are pretty significant across so many areas of life. If we really recognize this growing hunger for the felt, for the raw, the authentic, It changes how we see things, what we look for, what we create, what we value in our interactions, and the content we consume.
How so?
Well, for example, maybe we start choosing live concerts or plays over perfectly produced recordings, valuing real, unrehearsed talks over polished presentations. It encourages us to see the cracks, the sweat, the stumbles, not as flaws to fix, but as signs of real value, effort, vulnerability. Right, indicators of truth.
Exactly. It suggests a future where our humanity, with all its beautiful imperfections, becomes our greatest strength, kind of an antidote to the cold perfection of the machine. And it also means recalibrating what success even looks like in many fields, like customer service. Sure, AI can handle routine stuff flawlessly, but the human touch, empathy, genuinely connecting during a tough interaction, that becomes way more valuable.
Yeah, the exception becomes the value.
Precisely. Or in art. The artist's personal struggle, their unique, maybe even clumsy brushstrokes that become central to the appeal, not something to be smoothed over. This shift isn't about rejecting technology, it's about understanding its limits, and where human value is simply indispensable. There's a balance, obviously. You want precision in medical device.
Of course.
But for experiences that touch the soul, that raw edge is increasingly what we crave. Okay, so let's just recap the core insight from our deep dive today. In a world getting more and more refined by AI, the real value, the real appeal, is shifting towards the raw, the unfiltered, the authentically human experience. It feels like a powerful idea and very relevant right now. So, what does this mean for you, listening right now? Maybe take a moment. Think about the kinds of experiences you're truly drawn to. Is it the perfectly edited, hyper real stuff? Or do you feel that pull towards something more genuine, more spontaneous, even a little rough around the edges? And maybe more personally, knowing about this hunger for the felt, what kind of authentic self might you feel encouraged to show the world? Maybe those imperfections you tried to hide are exactly what people are longing to connect with.
And just to leave you with a final thought to chew on, if future crowds really will gather for voices that crack, sweat that glistens, and stories that stumble and still stand true, what invitation does that offer you? An invitation to embrace imperfection, not just in yourself, but in how you create, connect, see the world. What if the greatest perfection isn't its absence, but actually accepting, even celebrating, that beautifully imperfect pulse of human experience?